In this session, we will learn about breathing exercises and how breathing works. We will also learn more about the lungs and their function in the respiratory system and trying our hands on making a lung model. Before starting with the activity, let us perform some breathing exercises. What happens when we breathe? We breathe in oxygen-rich air and breathe out carbon dioxide-rich air. Since air is a mixture, our body filters oxygen and the other gases along with carbon dioxide are exhaled. Why do we need oxygen? Oxygen helps in the burning of fuel, food, in our body. The slide explains the process of breathing in brief. The air exchange between lungs and the environment, which facilitates gas exchange, is called breathing. Breathing enables oxygen to enter our body and carbon dioxide along with other gases to leave our body. Every time we breathe in, our lungs expand and our diaphragm moves down. Thus, our lungs have more space to expand and fill in the air. When we breathe out, our diaphragm moves up, pressurizing the lungs. Thus, air is forced out from the lungs, towards our nostrils and out of our body. The slide shows a picture of our respiratory system. The alveoli are where the lungs and the blood exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide during the process of breathing in and breathing out. Oxygen breathed in from the air passes through the alveoli and into the blood and travels to the tissues throughout the body. Nasal cavity, nose, is the entrance for outside air into respiratory system. The hairs that line the inside wall are part of the air cleansing system. Sinuses. These are hollow spaces in the bones of your head. They connect to nasal cavity through small openings. Pharynx, throat, collects incoming air from your nose and passes it downward to your trachea, windpipe. Larynx, voice box, contains your vocal cords. When moving air is breathed in and out, it creates voice sounds. Trachea, windpipe, is the passage leading from your pharynx to the lungs. The trachea divides into the two main bronchi, tubes, one for each lung. The bronchi, in turn, subdivide further into bronchioles. The smallest section of the bronchi are called bronchioles, at the end of which are the alveoli, plural of alveolus. The alveoli are the very small air sacs that are the destination of air that you breathe in. Lungs are the primary organs of the respiratory system. Your lungs are like balloons in your chest. They help you breathe. Below them is a muscle called the diaphragm. When you breathe in, the diaphragm helps your lungs expand like blowing up a balloon. When you breathe out, it relaxes, and your lungs shrink. So, your diaphragm helps you breathe by making room for your lungs to fill with air and then let it out. As the lungs expand, we take in oxygen from the air around us. This oxygen goes into our bloodstream to give us energy for activities. So, when we're active, our bodies use stored oxygen from our lungs to keep us going. Materials required for the activity are listed in the slide. A transparent container with a hole punched at the base. A plastic pipe or straw. Balloons. 2 small and 1 big. Tape or rubber bands for securing the balloons. Y-tube connector for attaching the small balloon, as lungs. Scissor. The procedure to create the model is as below. On a plastic Y-tube attach a pipe on the descending end. On the V part of the Y-tube attach 2 small balloons. Insert this inside the container through the hole, keeping the longer tube outside the container. Close the open end of the container with the big balloon and secure it. Our lung model is ready. Stretch, pull down the balloon, diaphragm and see the small balloons pump air. Lung diseases are very common. They are divided into 3 types. Airway diseases example: asthma, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and bronchiectasis. Lung tissue example: pulmonary fibrosis and sarcoidosis. Lung circulation diseases example: pulmonary hypertension. Additional questions for students. Is it possible to live with only one lung? How does coronavirus affect your breathing and lungs?